the new Egoist League coming to a close with one more game, of course that being PXG versus Bastard Munin. One character remains a big question in the following chapters, and of course that's Michael Kaiser. As the current main rival of the series, being crowned part of the new Gen 11 and some of the best weapons we've seen in BLUELOCK, what will happen to him next? We'll always be getting focused on Isagi, of course our main character, but characters like Sai and Kaiser always take a backseat during these times. So with Kaiser getting recent development with his backstory and declaring a rivalry against Isagi to take the throne of the best, so many different possibilities and paths open up. However, I believe it all leads to the same answer, and that is PXG versus Bastard Munin will be Kaiser's last chance. From beating Isagi to completing his goals of becoming the best, this game has everything on stake for Kaiser, and there is so much evidence behind it, which of course your boy will be analyzing. And before you say it, yes I know, he will probably play against them in the World Cup arc, but this game also affects that as well, and you'll see why. I think this is the most crucial game for Kaiser moving forward. Going into this match, there's a lot of stakes for Kaiser himself when he goes up against Isagi. His superiority complex and the fact that he just lost to him in the goal race has such an importance on Kaiser as a character and will 100% play a role in his development later on, whether he beats Isagi again or loses to him. That's why I say PXG is Kaiser's last chance, because winning against Isagi means a lot. We'll get into that in a bit, but losing to Isagi also means a lot. And we'll jump into that right now, how losing to Isagi in the PXG match can be detrimental for Kaiser as a character. Bastard at the moment revolves around Kaiser. As much as you can say it's Noel Noah's team, of course the current system is centered around Kaiser. This is referenced by Isagi and even Noel Noah himself. The team works to support Kaiser because, well, he's Kaiser. But where I'm going with this is that Isagi just came in with the Blue Lockers and started to establish himself on the pitch, fighting for that top spot in Bastard Munin so the team can be centered around him. If Kaiser loses the PXG game, the team will no longer be centered around him, and that's super detrimental to his character. Due to his superiority complex, calling people clowns and whatnot, Kaiser doesn't even care about his club offer or his objective, but instead beating Isagi and proving he's better than him. He has his team and his ego on the line, which we'll get into in a second, but why I bring up the team is because I believe Kaiser's confidence does partly come from having Bastard Munin backing him up. So if Kaiser loses in PXG, which is why this game is so important, his confidence falls with it. Isagi would essentially take away what Kaiser has, and the person that plays the biggest role in that specifically is Ness, the #1 Kaiser Glazer. We're currently getting their backstory, but it is hinted that Ness is starting to see the magic of Isagi's football. Ness's whole philosophy is also all about finding magic. This was explained in chapter 242, and this is why I bring it up here. If Ness sees Isagi's magic, joins his side, and leaves Kaiser, Kaiser will be left with nothing. This was referenced back in chapter 168 as well, Isagi quite literally saying he's gonna steal everything away from Kaiser. So now you're starting to see where it's going. This is one of the many make or break points for Kaiser as a character in the PXG game. If he wins here, he proves himself against Isagi and keeps control of the team. But if he loses here, Isagi takes over Bastard Munin, takes Ness, leaves Kaiser with nothing. Like I said, the stakes are really high for Kaiser here. There's also the other side that Kaiser has the offer from La Real. He doesn't need Bastard Munin, and yeah, this is true, but you do have to keep in mind Kaiser's ego. If Kaiser lets himself get beat like that, I can't see him being the same character as before. This is what I mean by he'll undergo some major development, or maybe La Real can retract their offer, as we've seen clubs can do that with Nagi and Rayo. It's pretty far out there considering the possibilities, but it does go to show how important the match actually is. They could very well retract the offer and give it to someone else, like Rin or Isagi for example, which again leaves Kaiser with nothing. I mentioned it a little bit earlier before as well, but not only is he fighting for his team and his offer, the biggest thing I think he's also fighting for is his ego. With such a high superiority complex, losing to someone who you think is beneath you isn't a very good rap. I'm pretty sure everyone has had an experience like that, so it's not very good on the mentality, and with him already losing to him once, if he loses again, Kaiser's ego will get affected heavily. With BLUELOCK, we all know it by now. If not, you gotta be reading a different manga. It's all about ego. In fact, ego is the weapon that allows you to fight back, as quite literally said in this panel with quite literally Kaiser and Isagi. And with Kaiser, his ego helps him with his confidence, and his confidence helps him with his weapons, and his weapons help him with pulling off the impossible. And pulling off the impossible is Kaiser's whole character. It's part of his backstory and also the blue rose tattoo. And again, the effects of this match is absolutely crazy. It could lead to Kaiser maybe even staying in Bastard Munin so that he can train and beat Isagi, or maybe seeking out revenge by learning things in La Real alongside, or even worse, losing everything he has, including his career. There's so many paths and scenarios. That's the worst case scenario. I doubt that'll happen, as we'll see him in the World Cup arc, but that just develops him even further for the eventual Germany versus Japan match. All the spotlight would be on Kaiser and Isagi, and if Kaiser lost to Isagi, Isagi during the PXG match, he's going to be training like crazy to get his get back. So what I think will happen to him in the PXG game is this is Kaiser's last chance. That is the last chance to keep everything the same. If he wins, he keeps what he has and he beats out Isagi. But if he loses it all. That is his team, his ego, as well as Ness. I think that's the most important one. And then it's a solo mission for him from there. Maybe he'll come back in the World Cup with a new ego to take down Isagi. I'm not outright saying that Kaiser will lose to Isagi, but plot-wise, it does make sense for Isagi to take everything away from him. And then in the World Cup arc, Kaiser comes back as an absolute demon. But if Kaiser were to win in PXG, it would definitely be because of Kaiser's new weapon, as mentioned in chapter 243. We get no information about it, so let's theorize. What is Kaiser's new weapon that will help him win against Isagi? Again, we know how important it is for Kaiser to win this match, so this weapon needs to guarantee a win for him, or at least prove he's better than Isagi. And then Isagi would be the one getting his revenge in the U20 World Cup arc. You guys already know. So what is the secret weapon to destroy Isagi? I believe it's to do what Isagi is doing to him and take what Isagi has. And what I'm specifically talking about is Hiyori here. Since in chapter 241, we got confirmation that Hiyori wants to play football alongside players who can understand his passes, and that he'll discard any player who is too stupid to understand his passes. Of course, that can include Isagi, so Hiyori might end up passing to Kaiser. Then it'll be a match of who can really crown themselves as the king of Bastard Munin. It hits a couple of things. Obviously, it'll crown who can take over the team, who is the better player, who has the better ego. Both have a lot at stake here. I went over Kaiser's stakes, that's what this whole video is all about, but Isagi is still aiming to take the throne and surpass Kaiser. So whoever wins the match wins all the stakes. It's an all or nothing match here, which makes the PXG game even more hype. I'm super excited to see it all unfold. Again, this is just a theory and discussion, so I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Isagi will take everything away from Kaiser, or will Kaiser beat Isagi at PXG? Sorry for the later uploads as well. If you don't already know, I've been super sick, but I have a few videos that are coming that are absolute bangers, some of the best videos I've ever made. So hit that subscribe button to see that, because you're not going to want to miss it. If you guys watched to the end, thank you so much for watching and the continued support. My name's Hiryo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.